It's a whole new world. And that's all I'm going to say because I don't want Disney to sue me on the Carbuncle Chronicle. Hello and welcome to the Carbuncle Chronicle, your podcast for everything awesome in Final Fantasy XIV, soon to be 7.0. I'm Basil, and I portray a soon to be beauteous Lalafell summoner, 4K Ritus K.
I'm Anna. I play a Lalafell back to dancer named Cormia Ritus K.
Oh, hi. I'm Tobias. I'm currently playing a hero warrior named Clive Rossfield. I just started Final Fantasy XVI literally last night. I've been playing that. Still pretty early on, but usually I'm a Nanawai Silvestri, a Lalafellan, mostly paladin currently.
I'm Umi. I play what is my name? I'm currently taking a break, but I'm still very excited about this. I used to be Umeto. I think I changed it.
It's Umie.
Oh, that's right. I'm Umie de la Lune. I am presently a Lalafell. When I come back and I start playing again, I'm going to go back to being Bun Boy, and I am currently a Reaper. Although my heart will always be a white mage, therefore black as night as a black mage.
We saw so many black mage I will not move shirts at FanFest. I was waiting to see the shirt that you sell, but sadly did not see any of them. But I saw so many of the same. It had ley lines with a black mage symbol. It just said, "I'm not moving."
Yeah.
When you say it had ley lines, did it have my ley lines? Because I hand drew that.
Yeah, no, it was someone else's ley lines.
Okay, well, my shirt was on Redbubble, and Redbubble has since gone weird, and I have stopped seeing it be sold. I think because I'm not paying them to sell it for me, so I'm not surprised that my ley lines have fallen out of favor. But it was nice while it lasted.
We should get you on TeePublic just because I think TeePublic is still not, even though it's technically owned by Redbubble, they're not acting like Redbubble, so people are still buying shirts there.
Well, I've noticed a lot of the people who do independent designs have kind of moved their workshops from Redbubble to TeePublic. And also, on that note, I've observed that like Redbubble's shirt quality started going down and down and down, while I haven't seen that decrease from TeePublic. Like everything I've gotten from TeePublic has always been a really nice. The ink has stayed on and not peeled off. So I don't know. It seems like TeePublic is the way to go right now.
Which you can go on the AwesomeCast webpage, the home of the Carbuncle Chronicle, to the AwesomeCast TeePublic page and buy yourself some AwesomeCast t-shirts. So by this point, this episode goes up, I probably should figure out some Carbuncle Chronicle shirts to go up there as well, especially now that Umi has done the really, really dope Carbuncle art that we can now adorn things with. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but the first bridge we need to cross is on over to Costa del Sol to talk about the Moonfire Fair. Because, as we know, as the year passes, there are a bunch of different events that you get to participate in that's seasonal in Final Fantasy XIV. In fact, we did a whole episode about it last year with our seasonal event primer.
If you recall, the Moonfire Fair is my favorite event. So, has it started yet? Tell me when it started. I'll come back for that.
Well, it starts the day after you leave for Norway.
No!
On August 10th. Now, it doesn't
God.
end until August 26th.
Okay.
So you'll be back in time to do it.
Right. Oh, good. I was worried.
Yeah, no, you'll still have a chance. Go find a net cafe.
Yeah, I was worried I was going to have to find take my laptop to Norway with me, find a net cafe, and log in Norway. Although I do wonder how many people in Norway play. Like if I walked around wearing Final Fantasy merch, if people would
Possibly.
be nice to me.
I will also say Basil mentioned our seasonal event primer episode. That is actually the pinned video on our new YouTube page that you should go and subscribe to.
And ring the bell and all the things you do for YouTube pages. But
I
yes,
just want to say it's nice that we're kind of finally back on like a regular schedule with us. I know it kind of got wonky during the pandemic with some delays and whatnot, but it does feel like we just got done with Make It Rain and now we're already, on the next thing. It feels good. It feels good to go straight from one to the other.
Yeah. So yeah, starts in Limbs of Laminsa, Upper Decks, where you start the quest, and we're going to talk to King JJ.
What?
The quest giver is Mayaru Moyaru, which is why.
Oh, he's voiced by the guy who voices.
No, his name is Mayaru Moyaru, and it just when you look at it, our anime brands go to Mamoru Miyano.
Oh,
The
okay. Yeah, because I was trying to follow that, and I was like, "What? Okay, I know." There were several logic leaps there that I didn't quite catch.
Yeah.
I was hoping that it meant that the Zombieland Saga guy. We're finally getting a crossover with Zombieland Saga, but unfortunately,
no. It's Power Rangers again. It's Super Sentai.
Yay!
We're actually getting our Super Sentai suits.
Oh, it looks so good, man. It does.
Well, that's good because we kind of did that Super Sentai thing one year, and then we've never touched back on it. So I'm glad that we're doing that.
I do kind of wish that the suit was. I kind of wish the suit was like separate top and bottom instead of being combined to one. But we're getting it one way or another, which is what matters.
And it's a really, really detailed suit.
Mm-hmm.
So I can also understand why they just made it a one piece. And technically it is two pieces because the helmet is separate from the body.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good looking helmet.
And just wait, because at some point in the not so distant future, you can put two dyes on it. Maybe. But we'll talk about that later.
And
more importantly,
spoilers.
More importantly, that helmet works for all races because they did include models that features bunny ears or Rothgar ears. So, anyone can wear this outfit fully. You don't have to worry about it. It's what they should be doing for all head items. But anyways, yeah, Moonfire Fair, August 10th through August 26th. So it lasts for 26 days. Or is it 16 days? 16 days. So that way, don't worry.
It usually lasts 2 weeks, and then Rising starts immediately the day after Moonfire ends and goes for a week, I think.
So, yeah, so soon as you get back from Norway, Umi, you're just going to have to finally jump back into 14.
Yeah. Yep. It sounds like I will. And I've got lots of story to do. So that should keep me...
That's good stuff. And, oh man, the Hildebrand, you are... This current set of Hildebrand quests is peak Hildebrand. It is the best it's ever been.
Oh gosh,
yeah,
it's been so good.
The Hildebrand lore, it is pretty intense.
But speaking of lore, recently several of us went to FanFest where they unveiled the new trailer for the new expansion, which includes new lore. But the expansion is called Dawntrail. So with that, we'll be right back. And we're back. Yeah, 7.0 is announced. It's called Dawntrail, and Anna actually kind of called it.
Woohoo! I was not. I was partially joking, not being. I was serious though. The whole New Dawn thing, because the whole day cycle, and then I was like, well, I guess they're just gonna start a new day.
Yeah.
And then so when they announced it, I looked at Basil and went, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I remember that from the last FanFest. Is they were explaining that the whole thing had been like a day cycle. We started in the morning with A Realm Reborn, and then we went on to noon, and then it was evening, and last one was like the dusk of night. So it makes sense that this one had a dawn theme to it.
I really enjoyed that someone put together that it's 7.0 and Dawntrail, and we're the scions of the seventh dawn. I really hope that Ishikawa or Kate or somebody throws something in there about that during the story.
So yeah, we're going to the new world. Which now has a name, Tural, and we are going to, apparently, a visitor from the new world is seeking the Warrior of Light to aid in a rite of succession to determine Tural's next ruler.
And I'm convinced that that's the voice at the end of the trailer. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But as of everything we have right now, that's where I'm leaning. Because we don't know who that is, speaking at the very end of the trailer.
Like, we also know that apparently Alphina, Alce, and Aaronville, that's apparently who's on the boat with us going across the Indigo Deep. And they're hoping also find the fabled gates of a city of gold, which I believe was one of the things that Emmett Selk mentioned. Oh, sidebar, spoiler levels high. We're talking about the next expansion. We're kind of assuming that you know what's happened before this expansion. Okay. Anyways, I believe they mentioned the City of Gold is one of the things on Emmett Selk's list of places they can do expansions about. But we also know that apparently this will also see the Scions divided. We don't know what the contest entails. Who knows what's in Tural and what is the truth of the City of Gold.
So I didn't actually go to FanFest, unlike the three of you.
Okay, we all went to FanFest, but Tobias is the one that came back with COVID.
Yeah. I didn't get any merchandise, but I did get something that brought back with me.
Oh, a nice little souvenir to go home with you.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to go, so I only saw the trailer online, and so this is the one thing I can truly react to, that I could go, Taco Cat! Taco Cat! Taco Cat! I'm so excited about Taco Cat.
If anything got a consistent huge cheer the entire weekend, every single time they played the trailer, the second Graha shows up with a taco. It was like clockwork. You knew what was happening every single time.
I'm so excited about Taco Cat.
I didn't know until we came back home and I could actually watch the trailer where I could actually hear what's going on in the trailer. I didn't realize that the lyrics of Life, Take It Slow, and Take a Bite is timed to Graha taking a bite of the taco.
Oh, it's so perfect. Taco Cat. I don't even think that the Japanese development side of things, they have to know that the Taco Cat is a meme, right?
I would like to believe that at least Koji or Kate has filled them in.
Because the lady who's responsible for all the lore right now, Ishikawa has stated that she just wants him to eat a new meal every expansion. So Grahatia, whether they mean it to or not, has been linked to a meal for the past 3 expansions. It was sandwiches in Shadowbringer. It was cheeseburger in Endwalker, and apparently it's tacos in I keep wanting to call it Dawntrail.
Everyone.
And
A lot of people do.
uh,
A lot of people do. A lot of people joke like, oh, they couldn't call it Dawntrail, so now they're just calling it Dawntrail.
okay, yeah. So in Dawntrail, it's going to be tacos. And 2 of 3 of those are memes. In fact, sandwiches can even be considered a meme. Back from cat breading. So they have to be aware that they're memeing this, right?
I would think so.
And at least Kate, the current lead of localization, who, I mean, another sidebar, we also found out that she is the English side of the new upcoming lore book, not Koji. Apparently, Koji hasn't even read the new book yet.
That cracks me up.
But she definitely was around in the United States for when Taco Cat was a meme. So if at least someone there on the dev side has to know that Taco Cat's a meme. But no, that trailer was very, very exciting. I liked seeing all the Mummel Jaw like roaming around all the lush like jungle escapes. I really enjoyed Thancred asking, have you seen this treasure? While Urianger is totally chilling at Pineapple Margaritaville.
You mean when Thancred was picking up chicks for the 2 of them?
Yes.
That's what he was doing.
As Thancred and Urianger want to do. Or at least, I mean, Urianger seemed down with it. He nodded, approvingly as he looked up at the sky so they could, cut back to whatever they're cutting to next in the trailer.
They're just spicing up their relationship.
Those are things we don't tell Reen when we go to the first. Yeah, they're doing good. That's it.
Yeah. You don't need to know what your dads are getting up to.
As I pointed out, I mean, again, I found out that the Japanese voice actor for Thancred is also the Japanese voice actor for Dion in Final Fantasy XVI, the game that got banned in the Middle East because it has a legitimate actual a couple with Anyways,
yeah.
I realize I don't want to spoil too much things for 16. So the theme for Dawntrail is a journey of discovery. They also revealed later on that the theme color for this expansion is gold.
Ooh.
So Barry should enjoy this one.
It's true.
I think I want to point out, I kind of this sort of scene. There seems to be a pun in the title as well, with it being Dawntrail and the place is Tural. I feel like that's kind of a Japanese pun happening there. I don't have proof, but I bet.
I've heard a lot of people make that connection.
I see it now. I'm mad at you guys that I see it now, but I see it now. Now I'm never going to unsee it.
So we also had a new hub, which is the Tural in the region of Tural, which apparently is a city that has a heavy focus on diversity. It is the seat of the federal nation state that governs Tural, and it also currently has a ruler of Galul Jaja, a two-headed Mamoja, who apparently we have actually, and I didn't realize until someone pointed out later, we've actually fought one before. We fought Max Zome Mola Jaja, who is the final villain in Wanderer's Palace Hard.
I was just reading about that the other night in the lore book.
Yeah, and in the in-game description for Mola Jaja, both leader and second in command of the Silver Scales, Mola Jaja was born of an intertribal marriage, a union which occasionally results in two-headed offspring. Known as blessed siblings, these individuals are groomed for leadership from birth. Indeed, Mola Jaja's purpose for crossing the sea to Eorzea was to win glory and strengthen his claim to the throne of Arak, ruler of all Mamuja. Upon arriving, however, he struggled to find employment for his warband, and in a bid to make his name in this foreign land, he took the drastic step of capturing a piece of it. So, stuff, once again, from ARR is now making its way into being the plot of an expansion.
Do you think that the whole thing with the Momoja having two heads is a reference to how reptiles often are more significantly more prone to surviving into life with two heads? Like, I'm not sure how to phrase that. Like, it is possible to find like a two-headed snake or a two-headed turtle, and they don't like die in utero. Unlike and they're not a case of conjoined twins. They're closer to identical. Well, they're not a case of conjoined twins. Whereas in mammals, that only works if it's a case of conjoined twins.
Right. That definitely seems like a connection for sure, with them being sort of chameleon-like to begin with.
And 14, they do like, attaching just a soupçon of like realistic
of reality.
possibilities. Yeah.
Is that the name
So
of the
I mean,
Sound of Reality?
they're nerds just like us.
They also showed off some screenshots that look very, very, very pretty. They also revealed that those screenshots also are indicative of the new graphics update, because the shadows look much, much nicer and much fuller. My personal theory is that because Final Fantasy XVI also runs off the same base engine as 14 does, because I assume when they were building out 16, that was the engine they already knew, so they were just working with that. I think they learned some tips and tricks in optimizing things for the PS5 that they were able to now bring for 214 as well.
I have a question about that, by the way. I see here in the notes you've posted some of the screenshots that they released of like the before and after the graphics updates, side-by-side comparisons. But the which side is which is not labeled.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Left is new.
But yeah, left is new.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was saying, like, the left side looks better than the right side, but like, also, like, the things that they had said about what the graphics update would be like fits more with the right side, but the left side looks better. So, okay, I guess we'll cover that when we get to it. Like, it's just Basil started talking about the new graphics update, so I thought we were skipping ahead.
Because plants. They're so excited about their plants.
They are really, really excited about plants. Like, he was like, one of the slides just said the word plants on it when they were showing things.
Yeah. It's ironic because wasn't it plants? Wasn't it plants that killed 1.0?
It was plants. Like
it was the barrel.
The most beautiful planter in the entire world was the thing that he brought up as the demonstration for why 14 was having a hard time processing its graphics. Is that he was like, we're worrying too much about details that nobody cares about. Example, the plants. And now he's very excited because we're finally getting to update the plants.
10 years later, they figured it out.
Yeah. Which I guess also why they wanted to do the new world, because it gives them much more lush, verdantly tropical areas that they can just, stick all sorts of plants into. I also am really surprised at just how much Island Sanctuary was secretly a hint as to where we were going. Like, they kept going, like, island getaway. Yeah, man, just kick back and enjoy your island. Where he kept bringing up the theme of essentially a summer vacation is sort of what you're going for.
Yeah, this whole expansion is the beach episode.
Huh. Interesting. You guys had also mentioned when you came home that it's also it's starting new things. Like, I asked you, where could we possibly go from here? Because we just saved the entire universe from the looming threat of existential dread and despair. How are we going to top that? And I think this is not how we top it, but how we start the seeds of the next day, of the next big overarching thing that we're going to tackle. Like, so it may not be as grandiose. It may not be as grandiose. It may not have as cosmic reaching effects, but it's where we're starting to build up to another one of those.
Look, we may not have nihilism defeating soup, but we're going to have tacos.
I know that a lot of people are expecting with the 6.x story for it to, like, Mericidia has been the next sort of obvious place to go, but I'm glad that they didn't go straight to that and ramp up to another big saga. I'm glad that we're taking a break, and whatever happens in 6.5, I'm glad that they're gonna like put that on the back burner a bit while we do something else.
And I was talking with Anna at dinner tonight. I'm really hoping. I was thinking Mericidia before FanFest. I also had mentioned New World as another possibility. But now that I know that we're getting Tural, we're getting a New World, I kind of just want this expansion to be in the New World.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of don't want to go to Mericidia. The one thing I really was unhappy with about Stormblood was the fact that they gave us a whole other continent authored, and we didn't go through nearly enough of it. We had to split our time between there and Alamigo, and I don't want the same thing to happen to Tural. I want to really get the chance to explore and encompass all of Tural. I don't want to have to be like, all right, we're in Tural. Now we're in Mericidia. Now here, no. I want to go to Tural. They showed off a couple of areas, Urca Pacha and Yaktiel. Like, one was like this big mountainous region, one was like this big old forest. And those look really cool places, and I want to see more really cool places in Tural. I don't want that just to be it. So,
kind of following along on that note, so in 1.0 and A Realm Reborn, we have basically the whole continent of Eorzea, right? We don't quite have the whole continent. Like, we're missing the places that came in Stormblood. Alamigo, we're missing Alamigo.
Right.
But it feels, when you say, okay, in all of these areas are a whole continent, it feels right. And when you compare the size of Alamigo to the size of like the Black Shroud or Lenoska, it feels, because we have it split up into 3 different zones, it feels appropriately sized. But to this day, Garlemald does not feel like it's big enough. The Steep does not feel like it's big enough. Fortunately, the hinterlands feel like not the hinterlands. What are they called?
you mean Dravania?
Yeah, Dravonia feels right. Dravonia feels like that is big enough because it's an extension of Korthus. But
Which is still part of the Eorzea.
Yeah. But like, the Steep does not feel big enough. It feels like we ought to have 2 or 3 more zones of just the Steep, because a Steep is such an expansive, it would probably be boring. Like, if we got that as part of a thing, it would probably be boring and it wouldn't be good. So I understand why they didn't include it. But it also, if we have this perspective of this is the whole Steep, then it's not big enough.
No, I agree completely, and I kind of mentioned that on our last episode, where, like you mentioned, in ARR, you have 3 city-states with 4 zones between them. You don't, even if we continue into Heavensward, the areas are big enough to feel like we're really filling out that area. But then we get to Stormblood, we see all of Authored, all of Final Fantasy China, Final Fantasy Asia, distilled down to like 3 areas. We haven't even gone really to Hingashi, honestly, And
Yeah.
even in Endwalker, like you mentioned, Garlemald is one area. We did Garlemald talked about this entire time. It's one area.
Garlemald feels way too small. Garlemald feels like it should be at least 4 more areas, and I think they've kind of touched on that by, if you notice, like every time we go to Garlemald, we go to like the edge of the map, and they say, "Oh, and there's a whole other area over here that we go into and explore." That becomes the dungeon, but
I think we'll probably get to see more of that area once Garlemald gets more stable.
Yeah.
And once they start to trust us a little more, like with Alphino and Alisay helping them, like I think they're gonna be like, okay, so they'll finally get more stable. They might be able to, like I said, trust us a little more. I say us as an Eorzea, and I think we'll be able to explore more of that area in the future once that calms down a little.
well, I bring up Garlemald feeling like this can't be the only zone of Garlemald. There must be other zones that we simply don't have access to, and also the seat is too small. There must be more to the seat that we don't have access to, because I don't want them to repeat that mistake with the New World. The New World is supposed to be a whole other continent. It's going to feel very unsatisfying if we get there and it's only 1, maybe 2 zones.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say for Garlemald, something I dropped in our document, and I might make this like the cover art or something, so it's easier to see in the episode notes. But they also revealed a new map, and while they're doing this keynote presentation, where we see at least a decent chunk of Tural, but there are clouds that are clearly covering the bottom half of the continent of Tural we're going to, which is the southern continent, and there's clearly a northern continent above it. Also, if you look around Garlemald and Razathan and stuff, and Thavdir, there is a whole lot of clouds that's covering up a lot more continent. So they have also shown like there is a whole lot more stuff that we could go to in the future. So, but again, I really hope that what this means is that we get to really explore Tural, and we do not feel that it gets, we don't lose out.
Yeah.
What we're currently losing out on, because pretty soon after this, they revealed that one of the tribes that we'll see in Dawntrail is the Pelu Pelu, which is actually a reference to a race that's in Final Fantasy X. He then immediately goes, no Blitzball.
Yay.
He immediately goes, no Blitzball. Not yet.
What do the Pelu Pelu look like? Oh, I found it. They're kind of penguin-y looking people. More Lalafels. I'm just saying more Lalafels.
I hope there are crafting tribe quests, because currently all of our crafting side quests, our tribe quests, have all been Lalafell adjacent. Whether they were Moogles or Namazu or dwarves or Loprits.
The very first crafting tribe quest was Ixal.
Don't count. So from Moogles and
you can't say the Ixal don't count when we're going to the New World where they're from.
No, the Ixals are made by Alligans in Azys Law. Like, no, the Ixals come from Azys Law. They were made in the whole plot of the Ixal quest. They wanted to go up to the magical island in the sky where they come from, and that was Azys Law.
Yeah, we know that. That's not disputed. What our point is that they are the crafting tribe in 2.0.
Sure. My theory stands. Graphics updates. Okay, moving on.
I'm just offended that Basil compared Lalafell to Namazu. How dare you?
Oh no. Namazu are just stupid catfish Lalafells.
I love Namazu.
But in what Umi was saying, they did say that there's an area in Tural that we'll be going to that the people there are of the smallest stature and largest stature.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping, assuming maybe that is like Lalafell and like Rose or Rothgars, or think of the smallest race we have and the largest race we have.
Gosh,
Right.
who is larger, the Rothgar or the Rogadin?
Rogadin, I think.
I'm not sure.
Rothgar can be big, but they're also kind of hunched over. But like Rogadins are they're just big, beefy boys.
Okay, so Rogadins are still
tall
the biggest.
ladies. Yeah, I think Rogadins are still the biggest.
Okay. Right, so continuing on.
Yeah, so now is where they really started showing off the graphics updates. And I tried to show a couple, to us, but they're also doing a lot of updates to the character models. Well, not so much the character models, but like the shaders and the textures used.
They did show
for
a video
characters
for that.
Yeah, they did show a video. Like everyone's skin looks nicer. Their eyes look nicer. The hair textures look nicer.
The real big things for me were like the Ara horns looked a whole lot better. Like they like actual horns, and scales looked really good. All the textures, like Basil said, were like, oh man, you can tell their emphasis is primarily on materials in the world, as you can see like in this first screenshot, where the metal like looks more like metal than in the base game, the original game, and that's really where it pops to me, is those metal textures.
Yeah, that's kind of why I was saying like the left side looks so much better than the right side, but I had no idea which side was the upgrade and which side was not, because the shadowing, like technically the shadowing is better in the right side, but it looks better in the left side.
They had video of these areas too that makes it a little more.
Yeah, you can watch video of that they showed during the keynote. I know that Mione did a very good video really detailing the character models being updated, but also showed some of the video footage of the areas as well. Because what Mione did was like actually went through and recreated like in the game and took their own footage to compare to the footage of it. It's quite good. We also learned that the level cap is 100, not 99, which makes sense.
Were people thinking that it was going to be 99?
Some people, I think, wanted it, but he had said a long time ago it was going to be 100.
I think Basil's retro heart was hoping that it was going to be 99.
Well, if the final level, if the new level cap became 99, that would be a pretty indication that we were no longer going to get level caps with expansions.
Correct.
But I think that leveling up like another 10 levels every expansion is in fact a very good move. So I can see why they wouldn't want to break that formula. And it seems like there has been a few Final Fantasies that go up to level 100 in recent history.
16 being one of them.
Yeah, like in 16, in 16, the level cap hits 50, but then you can start the New Game Plus Final Fantasy mode, where the level cap goes up to 100.
Yeah.
They also revealed we are getting 2 new jobs. They're both be DPS. One's going to be a melee DPS, and one's going to be a magic DPS.
Yay!
And then he revealed his shirt, which was for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutant Mayhem, the new movie that just came out. And that was our big hint, was Ninja Turtles. But we already have ninjas.
Ninja 2, Ninja Boogaloo.
I am in the camp. I am in the camp that is their names, and it has to do with Pictomancer. Or Painter.
Yeah, I think that's
whatever.
a pretty solid theory.
But I like Tobias. He had put in the comments that, and I heard a lot of people saying Turtle sounded a lot like Tortuga, which is the pirate island. And we know the Melee's gonna be some kind of pirate. Like Corsair's the running theory. But because
the whole area is very New World themed, where the pirates are. It's Pirates of the Caribbean themed, even though they don't say it's Pirates of the Caribbean themed. It's much more One Piece themed than anything else.
Like if I go through this main scenario and I don't see a Captain Jack Sparrow somewhere or a Luffy run by, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Well, it's very easy to make a Luffy cosplay in 14 already. So.
Oh yeah. I've seen many
Just
of
so
them.
we're clear, the two theories you're talking about is that the Ninja Turtles are all named after Renaissance painters, therefore Pictomancer, but also the Spanish word for turtle is Tortuga, which is, a famous pirate island. Also in the trailer, our Warrior of Light clearly looks like he's a pirate, and he's got a sword in one hand and probably something else in the other that they do not show, and in fact looks like it's been taken out of the video.
It is very much the Spider-Man No Way Home edit job on the trailer. It's like we know there's something there.
Well, I think that both of those theories are correct. That's my theory. I really like those two ideas, but I do want to, before I settle on going, oh yeah, that's it for sure, I want to say, yeah, I like those two theories, and I would be very happy with those two results. So we'll see, though, what they actually come out with. Like they haven't announced anything. He's just given us the hint.
When he said that the two new jobs were DPS, I'm like, all right, going through the expansion as a warrior, because Qs are going to suck.
Well, pirate has been a pretty classic job type in Final Fantasy in the past.
I mean, in 11 there was Corsair as well that had a sword and a gun that shot magic bullets. I want to say was how it worked.
Yes,
yeah.
So I can see that working. How it works here is maybe you build up a melee combo, but then you use build up to it a magic bullet, which is still melee range. Really, it's just going to be like a one-handed gun.
Question: What's the focus? What's the focus job for the expansion? You know how everyone has been.
We don't. He didn't say. Meteor, our actual character, was the new job. So they didn't show any other existing job in the trailer other than the Scions.
Are you sure? Because our current job could be a red mage. The image job could be as red mage.
With the sword and
it could also be blue mage, because we're going to the new world, and the blue mage stuff comes from the new world. But the image job is probably whatever this new melee job that the Warrior of Light is currently embodying that we don't know yet.
Okay. Well, but I like the idea of Pictomancer. I like the idea of Corsair. So we'll see if those theories prove true. He's probably going to announce. They're probably going to announce the new jobs in Europe FanFest.
They'll probably announce one of them. I'm betting it'll be the shirt, whatever the shirt one was, and then he'll wear another shirt at the European FanFest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I figured they'll save at least the second job for Japan.
Yeah.
My guess, if I'm going to guess anything, I have a feeling we're going to get the melee job. Whatever he is current. Well, So my two theories is either A, they're going to reveal more of whatever Meteor is, or, as has been pointed out several times to me, that we have yet to actually see Kryl in this trailer, and we know that Kryl really wants to do more than just sit on the sidelines, and she did, in the last patch, did get her Smash Brothers invitation. So she could very easily be the new magic DPS job, person, much like how Alphino is now a sage, which is why I don't think he's going to be whatever the next match DPS class is, because he just became a sage. They're not going to do him for an expansion twice. But I could see Kryl being that. Maybe the images in the movie, in the trailer, is Alphino and Cryle together, which is why we haven't seen Alphino yet. But anyways, so I could either see them.
I think Y'shtola is up for a job change. Like, she's been 2 different jobs, but she's been 2 different existing jobs.
She is, but they've already shown like her in her Black Mage outfit, which is I kind of feel like they're all at least due for new outfit changes. But we'll see how that goes.
Honestly, the only Scion that's never had a job change is Estinian.
But he only recently
never
became a Scion,
will.
though.
Yeah, he is the Dragoon. There's no way.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the new melee too.
New melee.
No.
Dragoon.
Better Dragoon.
Dragoon 2.
No, the new
Dragoon
melee. The new melee is clearly probably going to share gear of Ninja, which is why I really hope it's Pirate or Corsair or Swashbuckler or whatever. So that way, the battle for loot is Pirates versus Ninjas.
Yeah.
Another meme as old as time, as old as Taco Cat.
Taco Cat. Oh, it makes me so happy. Okay, so one thing I really want in this expansion, and I'm disappointed in all three of you for never mentioning this to Yoshi P or to adorable girl who kept crying.
We never got. No, okay, I will say, I was about to say we never got close enough. I did accidentally scare Ishikawa at the orchestra concert because she came up and I said hi to her, and I know I scared her. And that is the one time I could have said something, and I'm so, because Basil said afterwards, Umi is going to be so mad at you. You were that close to her and didn't say anything. I'm like, I know.
Yes, I'm mad at all three of you because you were all three charged with this task of telling them how much I love.
How much?
So much. How much I love red-haired cat.
Gradia.
I mean, I tried, but he just kept eating that taco. He wasn't paying any attention to me.
You were all three responsible for telling them how much I loved Garahatia, because it can't happen again. I can't be so close to Garahatia possibly maybe dying and have him not know. And it's short of telling them how much I do love him, but how much, like, we need a way to put in the game to tell the Scions of our feelings, even if they're not returned. It needs to be in there. And you guys never did. You didn't say it to them.
I was just happy that clearly he's in the trailer eating a taco, which means that he is totally going on this adventure with us, which is really the important thing.
It is. That is the important thing.
I mean, that is how a guy expresses his love for us, is going on adventures. So the fact that like Basil said, the fact that we're there, that might as well be explicit.
He also does it with food too. So eating the taco, you know.
Oh, we know.
We know.
And among the things we know, there will be new threats to encounter, including probably is a trial, which is Valigarmanda, which is a summon we first saw in Final Fantasy VI. Which I didn't realize it because when we first meet them, they're covered in ice. It's that very first Esper that Terra encounters at Narsh.
Yeah.
One day I'll play.
With them being a summon, being a primal, that kind of, I don't know, maybe not as an answer to a question, maybe ask the question even harder. Like, what are we really done with primals and icons in this game? And apparently not. If the first thing we've seen is one.
I
mean, we
also don't know how it.
Like, it reminds me of Quetzalcoatl, like actual Quetzalcoatl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that's what it was until they announced the name.
Yeah.
We've also technically fought Quetzalcoatl.
Yes. Well, we technically have. So, but, Quetzalcoatl fits with the New World theme, but I guess if they're like, we already used Quetzalcoatl, it has to be something else. But this is better Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl 2, if you will.
Just twos all the way around. They also point out that we are not done with variant dungeons, which I thought was exciting.
I loved variant dungeons.
I'm going through Mount Rockon now, and I've done, I think, 9 of the paths. I really like it. It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, of course, we're getting new dungeons. We're also getting new variants. Of course, new Alliance raid and new 8-person raid. They've also mentioned that the next Alliance raid will feel even more Final Fantasy-ish than the current Alliance raid, which is pretty Final Fantasy. So I kind of wonder if that means that the next Alliance raid will be a crossover with some other Final Fantasy, because I feel that's the only way to make it even more Final Fantasy-ish.
I wonder if that's why they haven't
announced
if this is why they haven't announced a crossover event with Final Fantasy XVI, because we know that Yoshi P really knows the director of Final Fantasy XVI, like, just really, really well. Like, they've been together for a long time.
He did say that they would be announcing it.
Yeah. Oh, he knows the producer? What did I say?
Director. Technically, 16's director was the assistant director underneath Naoki Yoshida for ARR and Heavensward, which means he does actually know the director very well for a very long time. But the producer
it's the producer that I meant. Yeah, they've known each other for basically their whole lives. So, it'd be really silly if we didn't have any sort of 16 crossover. But maybe the reason they haven't announced it yet is because it's not going to come to us in the form of an event, but in the form of the new raid. So sort of like how we revisited Ivalice and the Final Fantasy Tactics universe in the that was Stormblood raids, right?
Yeah, that
right.
Ivalice
and Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
the Crystal Tower series was very reminiscent of Final Fantasy III.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if what would be the most Final Fantasy-ish than perhaps us fighting the 4 fiends from Final Fantasy I.
Oh, that would be so much fun. I would love that so much. But my theory is that it's going to be 16. It's going to be very 16 related.
I don't think so. He said, I have a feeling at Europe is when we'll get the announcement for the 16 crossover. I expect it to be very similar to the 15 crossover. Like, we're going to have an Ifrit fight.
Missed a most exciting answer, but we've already seen FF10 people in here. This is going to be very, I don't know, very I would say Islandic, but that's not a word. Very Pacific, I guess. I kind of feel like we're going to see more FF10, so that could possibly be related.
The Alliance raid's going to be Blitzball. Like, we're not going to get the actual Blitzball game, but one of the
There'll be a fight.
So it's going to be Ozma 2 with a giant Blitzball.
Exactly.
They also mentioned that PvP will, of course, Crystalline Conflict and Frontlines will see updates, which makes sense. But more importantly, they said that we're going to get new, quote, expansion lifestyle content in the same vein as Island Sanctuary.
So, I have no idea what that means, but I'm very excited for it.
Yeah. And then they also followed up with possibly the biggest announcement for most people, especially in the space of FanFest, which is the ability to dye things 2 colors.
Every time you do that, you cut out. Your mic cuts it out.
Like, yeah,
take care
2
of it.
dyes per earpiece.
Like,
that was the exact reaction.
The 2 dyes got probably the biggest cheer next to Taco Cat and Alliance Raid eye level the entire weekend.
You guys don't understand. You don't understand how many times I'm putting together an outfit.
Oh, I do.
And it looks so good, except that, the side details in this outfit are in this kind of brown leather, and the details in this other piece are a different kind of brown leather. And it's like, no, just let
Oh
me
yeah.
fix it.
We actually talked about this with Alex Fraioli in our 6.4 episode.
Did we?
We had a whole dyes discussion about like wanting to do the more details. I mentioned how I kind of wish they would do RGB sliders for
No,
colors to give us more
I like
color
the dye
range.
system better than the RBG sliders.
But I think the 2 dyes will go a long way to getting us there. And they did mention that everything would be 2 dyeable at the jump, but they're planning on eventually getting everything done.
Yeah, he said they were going to
And
work on the
then-
new stuff and the very beginning equipment, but they'll sort of meet in the middle as they update over time. He's very insistent to tell people that it would not be done on day one, but they're working on it slowly.
And then came Basil's favorite announcement of the whole
That's
thing.
like glasses and summoner horn. Glasses and summoner horn. That's right. I'll be wearing eyeglasses alongside my summoner horn. As an actual thing. They even thought ahead and made sure that the screenshot they used for it was a summoner with the summoner horn wearing glasses.
Well, those are mostly the people
Also-
who want to be able to wear both, because I don't think anybody else is as troubled by it as the summoners are. Like, for me and my black mage, my blindfold covers my eyes, so I don't need to wear glasses.
Yeah, what about your white mage?
My white mage has pretty flowers in his hair, and he doesn't need glasses.
Yeah, he could have glasses.
Yeah, he'd be pretty cute with glasses.
And now you get the option. I do like.
And now
I like
there's
how the glasses
option.
are going to be. Yeah, I like how it's a new type of gear that that's equipable alongside headgear, but won't actually be gear you have to actually deal with.
Yeah.
So it won't be like an
All of the
armory
belts.
chest thing.
All of the belts were gathered up last expansion and melted down into eyeglasses.
Yep.
Wow.
They also mentioned this will be probably more 7.x, not 7.0, but they are also increasing the furnishing limits.
Yay.
I know for sure this means furniture inside the house. I still hope that also means furnishings for outside the house too.
I
And
lost
then
my house
They
again.
also
Me.
I did.
you'll just have to get another one.
Yeah, I'll just have to try again and get another one. But I'm not playing right now, so I'll try again later.
And they are increasing the system requirements, but they're not that much more in depth.
I don't want to have to
They
get a
are-
new laptop to play the new thing. But I already got a new laptop. For the last one, that was way over what's actually needed.
Yeah, mine, because I bought this laptop for Endwalker, and it's gonna be fine. So you'll be fine too.
Yeah.
Anna's laptop is actually still recommended. So I know one that Anna was really excited about was the strategy board that they showed off, which is sort of a whiteboard that you can use to plan raids, or as Anna pointed out, videos or whatever you need to people to start move people around on places.
Yeah, you can actually be all right, you're going to stand here and show them. That is going to be so helpful for raid.
I haven't seen any footage of this.
There was no footage. It was just one screenshot that they showed us that Basil has in our document.
I'm really hopeful that I can draw on this board freely. So
Maybe I It looks like you can. Like, it looks like there's like a pencil thing. So I just don't know yet.
That is what I want out of it. I have no idea if that is what they have even suggested. But it's what I want out of it, because I want to start like drawing little pictars in Final Fantasy XIV. If I can draw in Final Fantasy XIV, then there will be no reason for me to ever leave it ever again.
I guess we'll see.
And then they changed the meme on us.
What?
Yeah,
The next thing, they've changed the meme. They have now added Stormblood, or they will be adding Stormblood into the free trial as of 6.5.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, it just makes sense that they would do that.
I've thoroughly enjoyed all of the. We're gonna have free Cobb and free Woo, so we're gonna have lots of budget legends. Is what I heard in Mr. Happy's stream. Because people will get to do ultimates on the free trial.
Well, the real budget legends are the Fall Guys.
Oh my gosh, the collaboration we were not expecting.
I don't think this was on anyone's bingo cards.
No.
Was that we were legit getting a Final Fantasy XIV Fall Guys collaboration with 14 things in Fall Guys, and they're putting a Fall Guys thing in the gold saucer. And we're getting this collab before Dawntrail. Like, this is going to be in the 6.5 series.
I believe the Fall Guys collab started already. Was it like then August 2nd maybe is when theirs started, and then we're getting ours in 6.5x.
I'm just mad I gotta play this stupid game.
I need to look and see. I don't remember.
August 22nd.
22nd. Okay, I was 20 days off.
Oh, you were digit off.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Man, I don't want to play.
Oh
this
yeah, I
stupid game
guess.
again, but I'm certainly going to.
I've never played Fall Guys. I am too old.
It looks fun, like because it's very much looks like an obstacle course. I think it'll be fun in the gold saucer. It's gonna be as frustrating as PvP is for me. I'm going to be cursing up a storm probably as I do it, but I think it'll be fun. I love obstacle course type things, so I think that'll be fun to do.
Yeah. I mean, if you remember like Takeshi's Castle, Most Extreme Challenge, like way back in the day when cable was still relevant, it's pretty much a game of that. You just do an obstacle course thing, and it's sort of like tournament based, where the people that survive at the end go on at the next round until you finally end on sort of a free for all thing. And if you win, you get a crown, and you trade in those crowns for your wins for stuff. Or I don't know. I think they moved on to like a microtransaction method sometime a year ago. It kind of pissed people off a bit. I don't know. I'm gonna play it though. I need to get the Alphino and Alizé outfits.
And I kind of want to download it and play it because Basil said it was free, so I may look into that this week.
Yeah,
it's an epic game now, though. It's ran by the house.
I know the White Mage outfits. They're all so cute, and you can do the Manderville pose. And then the other thing I don't think was on anyone's bingo card, or maybe some people's, was they announced they had a guest.
I was so they started off the keynote with the new CEO of Square Enix on stage, and he talked about how much he enjoys Final Fantasy XIV because he does play. And I thought, okay, well, he's showing off now. Well, now they'll have a chance to bring him back later in a new outfit that will be for the new limited job that they'll announce. No. He was on stage, but what they brought on stage was the guy in charge of Xbox, Phil Spencer, to announce that they are planning on doing an open beta for Final Fantasy XIV on the Xbox Series X and S. The open beta starts at patch 6.5x with an actual for real release in spring of 2024 before Dawntrail officially hits. And then they brought up, the CEO Square and Phil and Yoshida. They made them all shake hands and then promise to never leave each other ever again. So maybe that means that we'll get further Square Enix games on Xbox. And Phil Spencer did not bother to wear a Beastmaster outfit so they could announce Beastmaster as a new limited job. Phil Spencer, have the strength of your convictions to wear stupid outfits so we can get more things to do in this game.
Look, that guy was not all there anyway. So I think we were good with what we got.
No, well, for example, Final Fantasy, the 7 remake series so far have all been exclusive console-wise to PlayStation. Final Fantasy XIV is currently exclusive to PlayStation. Microsoft is still so embroiled trying to buy Activision Blizzard King that they ain't got time for Square Enix. And I think Square Enix is currently enjoying, being wooed by whomever. So I don't think this is a sign that Square Enix is going to be bought or anything. Although I remember, I was joking no, CEO of Square Enix, run away. Phil's hungry. He'll eat you. Run away. But he's clearly high. He's going to have the munchies. Anyways, but I do think this means that there will be more Square Enix games that also are just now actual multi-platform again.
Okay, well, multi-platform is good.
I mean, I don't think that they're actually. I don't think this means anything. Honestly, I think that it's interesting to read that. I think it really is just, hey, we have a live service game, literally the one pillar holding our company afloat. It behooves us to put it on as many platforms as we can. And hey, the Xbox is really damn close to a PC. Why not get a whole other market of people? Why not? If it means something in the long run, okay. I don't know. I think it's a little early to really assume that we're getting FF16 on the Xbox series. I don't think that's ever gonna. Well, I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I don't think we're gonna get 16 on the series, but who knows?
I think the Xbox guy just happened to be in Vegas at the same time, probably sitting around in some VIP section, while the Japanese people were over there in Vegas and in some VIP section. And they just were like, hey, we're having this convention. Do you want to come and just like hang out with us? And the guy was just so stoned and high that he was like, yeah, sure. And he wasn't even thinking of any of the consequences or anything. Like, I think this has less than like nothing.
Oh, I just think I don't see 16 hitting Xbox anytime soon, but I could see them now planning for whenever they make Final Fantasy 17 that they'll plan for it to be like a multi-platform console, much like how Kingdom Hearts 3 was.
I think that we're going to end up in another Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles situation where like Square Enix goes, okay, Nintendo, we'll make something for you. It'll have the words Final Fantasy in the title, but it won't actually be a Final Fantasy game. I think it's good. They're going to do something similar for Xbox.
Well, I mean, Final Fantasy 15 was on both at the same time.
Yeah.
Forspoken was on both at the same time. Final Fantasy 15 is also the best-selling Final Fantasy.
That can't be true.
At least at launch. At launch, it was. At launch, it was the best-selling Final Fantasy. Yeah, fastest-selling Final Fantasy. But it was like it or lump it. I know. But it was also on PS4 and Xbox One. It had a really, really big install base to sell to, so it sold a lot. And I think that SE wants...
If I ever get to meet a Square Enix person, and they say, have you played any of their games? And I say, oh yeah, I've played all of the 14. I've played all of the Final Fantasy games, except for 15. That'll be the only one I could say I've never played, and I'll say it with pride. I'll say it with the same pride with which people who say they've never played the MMOs say it. Only I'll say it about 14. I'll say it about 15.
I only play the real ones.
Yeah, I only play the real ones.
11, 14.
Well, that don't have cars.
Yeah, all the ones that don't have cars as a major central focus of the game. They could be in there somewhere, but you made it a central plot point.
But talk about the Xbox. I was just thinking, finishing up the Hildebrand stuff, that I would love a Hildebrand offshoot game.
Oh my god, that would be fun.
Something like a Tingle's Rosy Rupuland sort of offshoot.
Yes!
And, if Xbox wanted to throw them a bone, they can have a Hildebrand side quest game for the Xbox Series X.
And this also is something that's probably been in the works for a long time. Like, people have been asking for 14 on Xbox since 14 hit PS4. People, well, where's the Xbox One version? And for the longest time, Yoshida was like, look, the infrastructure that Microsoft currently has in place will not work for what we want to do, because at the time they were very anti-crossplay. And because that was, before Fortnite. This is way back in the day. Back when we were all in diapers, because we're not horribly old or anything. Like, they were fine. Yeah, back in the day, it was a case of you could be like a console and PC could play with each other, but the idea of PlayStation 4 people playing with Xbox people was a no-go. And then when Xbox was really losing their shirts, they were like, well, maybe we're okay with this. And Sony was winning, and Sony was like, nah, we're good, actually. But with Fortnite, that really changed a lot of things when Fortnite was like, actually, we totally have this all working. They just need to say yes. And Fortnite became such a big phenomenon that suddenly crossplay, they were bigger than Xbox or PlayStation, and they got to say, no, we're doing crossplay. And essentially PlayStation and Xbox had to go, yeah, all right, fine. And then Call of Duty did it, and this game did it, and that game did it. So that really, I think, opened up the gates for 14 eventually. Okay, we were talking about this like way before those other guys even existed. Can we do this now? And I think they finally got all the I's dotted and the T's crossed and what have you. And this is just finally happening. And they just happened to get Phil in to announce it with.
Yeah, as far as I know, the only platform that is still pretty anti-crossplay is Nintendo, because they are hyper worried about safety.
You can play Fortnite on Switch with Xbox or whoever.
You can. Last time I was playing Minecraft, I was having a hard time connecting my PC with my niece and nephew's Switches, but their Switches could connect to each other very easily, and I had to just break down and get down on my Switch to play with them.
I think for Nintendo, it's more of an issue of technical limitations, because you mentioned Minecraft, like the PC Java version is distinct from the console version. And that's probably even stripped even further down in whatever version they've got on the Switch. I don't know offhand, but I would certainly put money down on that being the case. So, yeah, we're never going to see 14 on Switch, especially with the graphics update happening. Technical limitation more so than anything else, really.
That's fair, I guess.
Switch 2 is just coming down the pipe. Like, give it a couple of years. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Final Fantasy XIV on whatever the new Nintendo console is. That means we wouldn't have to buy Steam Decks.
Oh gosh, I hope it's not called the Switch 2. I hope it's called something else.
Two-witch.
Wait, no, I take it back. Switch 2. Everything gets a 2.
Everything gets a 2.
Dragoon 2.
Now, I know a lot of people are kind of worried about Xbox people moving into the game and there being a cultural shift. I don't think it's going to be that drastic, honestly. We already weathered the WoW exodus.
Yeah.
And those type of people coming into the game, and I
It
think
can't
the worst,
be worse than that.
the most toxic Xbox bro people I think aren't even going to bother with the Japanese game like Final Fantasy. They're gonna instantly, if they try, they're gonna get turned off at the account registration part and not even bother afterwards. But it really can only be for the best. We're gonna get more people show up. The Xbox Series consoles are more than capable of running this game. I'm sure even after the graphics update. So it really can only help grow the player base even further, which I mean could be a bad thing considering the Endwalker launch. When Dawntrail does come out, we could just not play for a week.
And FanFests in the future.
I hope this release is not as bad as last release, as far as that goes.
Well, I know that they have once again did their best to already build up new server farms and what have you to really put some insulation in there to try and pad the next release. And we haven't had like a big boom like the WoW Exodus to eat that up yet.
Well, it wasn't just the WoW Exodus. There was also the problem of like literally there was a chip shortage in the world. Literally there were not enough large capacity servers available at the time because of the pandemic. And also people were playing more and accessing more video games just overall because of the pandemic. So, there was just a perfect storm there for what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, something weird's gonna happen because, I mean, look, we all know what happened with Raubon Savage, and nothing was weird that year. So
yeah, but Shadowbringer had a pretty
really smooth.
Yeah, Shadowbringers was a really smooth release.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for a Shadowbringers type release again.
Also, I can now get a Lost Odyssey collaboration on Blue Dragon. So hell yeah, let's get some Mistwalker representation over here. It's all Hironobu Sakaguchi stuff. Come on, let's go.
Cool.
You get a Fantasian crossover.
Right? Yes. That was actually my biggest disappointment of FanFest. That we did not get Hironobu Sakaguchi on the stage.
Yeah, that would have been
we
so
got
cool.
Wait till
Phil
Japan.
Spencer.
Wait till Japan.
No, of course Japan's gonna get it. I know Japan will get it. He lives there. Of course we're gonna get Sakaguchi over there. Heck, he might even show up in Europe.
Man,
I wanted
Japan
him
gets
in
everything.
Vegas.
This is why I want to move to Japan. They get everything.
Before we wrap up, final hopes and dreams and thoughts for Dawntrail.
I'm looking forward to them announcing female Rothgar. Hopefully that'll be in Europe. Hopes and dreams, I want my boyfriends back.
Hopes and dreams, I want to be able to tell Garahatia I love him, even if he doesn't respond back.
Hopes and dreams, I hope Tataru fin-bombs me again.
I hope that for you too, Tobias.
Hey, look.
We're talking about partners.
I know for sure that Tataru is not done throwing outfits at us. Like that's like as the oceans wide and deep, we're Tataru's cosplay boyfriend.
That is a hope and dream that I do have, that I don't know that we've talked about this. This may be part of that lifestyle expansion that they were talking about that I didn't really understand what that meant, but I was all for it. I would like more new outfits. Like not just like recolors of already existing things, or because with this past patch, they have put in new gear, but they've put it out really slowly. Like one patch gets maybe two new tops and bottoms and everything that you can put on, but that's it. If we got any pure glamour pieces, they were typically just remasters of old gear. Like we didn't get a lot of just new looking cool stuff to wear. And I really would like more of that in this upcoming expansion. Like I would like to go into the expansion and they're actually the day one be like new looking gear that's not just a reskin of old stuff.
I mean, I feel like we got a lot. Now, it wasn't day one. It's definitely been progressing through the expansion. I feel like we got a lot of cute outfits because on top of my head, I can think of like the Variant and Criterion outfits. They were not personally my favorites, but like what the first Variant dungeon was the spy family, the spy one. This past one with Rakon was very Kugane, very Far East type outfits. We've gotten a lot of most of the outfits come through like map night, like all those materials that you have to craft. Because we've gotten 3 different pajama sets or 4 different pajama sets. The server sets.
There's typically the set that you can there's typically the glamour set that you can craft. That's one of the 2 sets I'm talking about. Is there's typically the set that you can craft, and then there's the set and then there's like the gear set. And they've been releasing it slowly, but like when I was first playing this game, I was super disappointed as I realized that like all the new gear outfits were basically just like a retooling of stuff that already existed in the game, and I could find it somewhere else if I just wanted that look.
I think a lot of this is also when we first starts playing an expansion, and a lot of the battle gear you get for leveling up was what were the recolors that Umi's talking about. Not the stuff in the patches, but when you start
I've
the
heard
expansion,
a lot of people make the same argument. Like I've heard it a lot that people are like, please be something different. Please let this dungeon have new gear and not just reskinned of other things. And yeah, I've heard that a lot from other people too.
Yeah, because fashion is in fact the true end game of Final Fantasy XIV, and if we don't get new stuff, the fashion stagnates.
Counterpoint, 2 dies.
Oh my god, 2 dies! I'm so excited about 2 dies.
Like there is that. At least we know. Also, one of the things I'm excited for is that with the graphics update, they're also including more high resolution textures for things that already exist, which will also include outfits. Like one of the first things they showed.
There's like a handful of items. Mostly it's stuff with Coral, with kitty print on it. Mostly stuff with kitty print on it that is not dyeable, and I would like to see a dyeable version of it.
Which may eventually happen now. I know that when they first showed off the trailers for the graphics update, one of the first things they showed was actually the new current Paladin artifact gear and how much shinier and nicer looking that did. And I didn't think we were going to get real major updates to gear that already existed, but that's what they started with, where even like the new current good looking gear is going to look even better. So I know that, for example, things that I'm really excited about possibility is that I think my favorite overall summoner coat is still the ARR 2.0 summoner artifact 1 gear. I really like that summoner coat, but I'd love it to look even better.
What I would really like out of this expansion, my hope and dream, is that they drop that with the expansion, they drop enough new gear that we have that it really shakes up the end fashion game. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm just also looking forward to a lot of the existing here is going to look nicer come some point with the graphics update, which also may help shake things up, where things that you didn't really like the look of back then may now look nicer, so that might start entering older things might also start re-entering back into the fashion realm. I would like both things to be true.
Yeah, I really liked a bunch of the older gear, but when you're playing dress up and then you're going off to roleplay, you tend to not want to wear a lot of the older gear because the textures on it just weren't as good as, like, the textures are a lot lower resolution, and it's gotten to the point where it's actually noticeable. So you notice that the patterning on like the Horizons thigh boots is a lot blockier than the current gear coming out. So that would be cool to be updated. But yes. So the hope and dream is for fashion.
As it should always be.
I mean, I'm trying not to think too hard about trying to predict, the jobs and stuff. Like, we're gonna get it. Any time that I spend dream casting about what we could be getting, it really won't matter. They couldn't surprise us completely. I guess my biggest hope is, like Basil said, let's just focus on Tural. Let's give us a lot of zones in this one area, and let's focus there rather than needing to jet set around the world to solve issues like we did in Endwalker. That was great for that expansion, but I would like to get back to focusing on one thing and doing one area of the world in this expansion.
Oh my gosh, you know what would be so nice? All the beer I'm going to get to drink in Norway. I'm so excited about it, you guys.
Well, good.
The link being the fruity drinks. The link being the fruity drinks that I hope that we're going to get to drink in Final Fantasy XIV in the New World, like, Ariane J and his margarita.
Yeah, when I play Dawntrail and Tural drinking fruity drinks, I'm going to be thinking, man, I hope Umi had a lot of fun last year in Norway.
Good. As well, I hope you do. I hope you remember that.
Well, I am now.
Well, I would point out that we also don't have, we're currently in August, September, October 21st and 22nd is the European FanFest in London. So we're going to know more then, where it's not that far away. So we're going to be, also in October, we've got 6.5, which will be covering more of what's going to be happening there pretty soon. Probably in a pretty upcoming episode of Carbuncle Chronicle, probably recorded while Umi's off gallivanting in Norway, drinking all the good beers.
I'm going to be consensually pillaged by Vikings. It's going to be a consensual pillaging. I'm going there. I'm going to give them all my money. And they're going to let me hang out with them for a couple of hours. Like, that's like an actual thing. Like they have like a Viking town still. I'm very excited about it. And I can tell you guys all about that.
Yep. Well, we'll have you back because you have to eventually get back here at some point. Hopefully. But I am now being bombarded and attempt to be pillaged by cats. So we need to wrap this up. So thank y'all very much for listening and joining with me on talking about Dawntrail. So thank you to Anna, Umi, and Tobias.
Anytime.
This episode is an episode of the Carbuncle Chronicle brought to you by the Awesome Cast, part of the Awesome Cast family. It is edited by Anna. The theme song was originally for the Awesome Cast done by DJ Inabito. You can find him at djinabito.com. But the Carbuncle Chronicle theme, arrangement, as you will, was done by Anna. You can find all the Awesome Cast stuff at awesomecast.com. You can also technically find the Carbuncle Chronicle at carbuncle.chronicle.com, but spoilers, it just redirects you to the Carbuncle Chronicle page on awesomecast.com. So, we do have a Patreon for the Awesome Cast where you go give us money, which keeps the light on and lets us do this. We also do have the Awesome Cast Discord, which also does feature a Final Fantasy XIV channel. So you should definitely come join us there. You can also leave us Apple Podcast reviews or Spotify reviews. The Apple Podcast reviews do require to tell us what maybe you liked about it. Just throw some text in there. Just say, man, we love the Carbuncle Chronicle. 5 stars. It'd be great. Social media is theoretically still a thing. Maybe. Kind of. I don't know anymore. But if you want to find me on the various social media platforms, it's at its Basil Time. I know that Anna's is Angel Darkfire, but the middle A is missing. Tobias and Umi don't do the social medias anymore, but you can find them on Discord. Yep. Discord's still a thing. Yeah,
I got on the Awesome Cast Discord pretty much every day, so that might as well be my Twitter now.
And then finally, my Twitch is It's Basil Time. I do that occasionally. Now that Anna's finally getting to start her sweet NASA job, that might let me stream more. Also, now that we're home and everything else in the world is not happening at our house.
Also, going back to social media things, we have a Carbuncle Chronicle Twitter and the Carbuncle Chronicle YouTube channel that Basil has yet to put into his spiel.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I should do that, in fact. But yes, no. The Awesome Cast and Carbuncle Chronicle now have their own distinct YouTube channels. You could go, I believe it's youtube.com/@AwesomeCast Podcast and Carbuncle Chronicle are the two channels. Go like, subscribe, ring the bell, do all the YouTube things. And Anna's putting a lot of work into making the videos for those. And they go up only a couple of days after release the podcast. So, okay, I think that is all the things. Yes?
I think so.
Cool. Then, until next time, never ever forget, you tank the Bone Dragon up north.